Paulo Costa defeated Yoel Romero via unanimous decision at UFC 241. Speaking on the Ariel Helwani MMA show, Costa calls out Romero for using dirty tactics. Costa says that Yoel lied about the low blow in order to get a rest period. This isn't the first time Yoel has been accused of using dirty tactics. Both Tim Kennedy and Chris Weidman shared similar sentiments towards Yoel Romero, like Yoel refusing to get up from his stool in the Tim Kennedy fight, and Yoel pouring water over him in between rounds like in the Chris Weidman fight.
I think he's a nice guy, but his style of fight is dirty.
Dirty.
Yeah, he's dirty because look, Ariel. In the first round, when I make a hook on his chin and he's down and he up very quickly, and I say, man, I will knock him out in the first round because he feel my punch, my first punch. And I start hunting him on the octagon. And when I close to knock him out, he point something on the, look that, Paulo. And when he points something, like a mouthpiece, maybe down, I think, man, something happened. So I lose my concentration, and he punched my face, but missed my face, and he hit my neck. And I lose my balance and I fall. So this is one thing. The second thing, my knee not hit his balls. My knee hit his stomach. And he said, "Oh, you hit my balls." And, and the referee, stop. So maybe, I don't know him, but maybe he's a nice guy. He looks a nice guy, but his kind of fight is clean.
In backstage footage released by the UFC, Costa's manager is seen getting into a heated confrontation with Yoel Romero over who won the fight.
Who win? Him? I think it was 30 seconds, man. You say
Colby Covington reacts to the potential fight between Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. Although Colby and Masvidal are best friends in real life, Colby calls this potential bout the battle of the journeymen.
Yeah, the battle of the journeymen. It's an exciting fight. The battle of the 500 level fighter. They're both. Let's see, Nate Diaz is 1-1 in the last 3 years. Jorge Masvidal is 2-2 in the last year or two. So it's the battle of the journeymen, the battle of the 500 fighters. So I'm excited to see, who comes out top.
I know Jorge is a friend of yours, but now you're starting to slag him a little bit here. And is there trouble in paradise here?
No, not at all. No trouble in paradise. What have I said anything that's a lie? Where's the lie, Aaron? I'm saying all truth and facts. If someone gets mad at me or a media member, or him even, for saying facts, then you're living in denial. You're living in a delusional world. So, there's no beef. He's still my best friend, man. We go through way back, Aaron. You don't know what me and that guy been through. We've been through so much together. So I got, nothing but respect and love for him. He's my brother. No harm, no foul. There's nothing. I'm fighting for a title against, Marty Fake Newsman. He's going to go fight another journeyman 500 level fighter with a speech impediment that probably can't even say the ABCs in Nate Diaz. So we'll see how that goes.
Speaking to MMA Junkie, Brian Ortega talks about what's next for him and reacts to all the rumors he's seen about his next potential opponent.
No, I just woke up one day and I said, IG said I was fighting Zabit, and I was like, all right. They got a contract, I didn't. Then it was like I was fighting Yair. Then it was, I don't know who else I was fighting.
Right.
I seen a couple matchups. Even some I was like, damn, I'm about to repost this. And then now Korean Zombies is on the internet talking to shit. But then I look down at everything and I go, okay, everyone's busy. He's not busy, I'm not busy. Let's fucking dance. Plus you called me out.
But you want to do it in Mexico, or is that too soon?
I was trying to, but I guess it didn't happen since they already got their main event.
You're not a co-main anymore?
No. I am, but I feel like the crowd gets a better show if it's 5 rounds, especially with me. When I show up, I show up. Whether it's good or bad, it's good, Whether it's good or bad for me, it's great for you guys.
You'll fight again before the end of the year, though.
Absolutely.
Here are some quick fight news. Joanna versus Michelle Waterson will headline UFC Fight Night Tampa, Florida, with Swanson versus Gracie being the co-main event. Iaquinta versus Dan Hooker confirmed for UFC 243 in Australia. Kelvin Gastelum confirms he will be fighting at the Madison Square Garden event, presumably against Darren Till, since Till posted about Gastelum a couple days ago on Instagram. Artem Lobov and Jason Knight verbally agree on Twitter for a bare knuckle FC rematch. Henry Cejudo calls out Valentina Shevchenko again on Instagram with a video of him dancing with the caption, "Hey Valentina, you wish this was you. Sign the contract and I'll dance with you in the octagon. Hashtag intergender world champion." Derek Brunson, fresh off a win over Ian Heinisch at UFC 241, talks about what's next for him on the UFC Unfiltered podcast. He says he's very interested in facing guys like Hermansson or Darren Till next.
Is there anybody in particular? Personally, I'd love to see you and Hermansson. But is there anybody you're looking at?
Yeah, that's a good fight, man. I have my eye on that fight. So Hermansson is fighting Cannonier in like a month or 3 weeks or something like that. So they're fighting pretty soon here. So that's a fight that I got my eyes on. There's a lot of fights, you know. Darren Till's looking to come to 185. Costa had a good fight. You know, there's a lot of guys. You know, there's endless possibilities. So I'm just going to sit back, watch a couple fights, you know, watch a couple big cards. They got a couple big fights in my weight class. A lot of guys have left the weight class. Weidman has left. That's right. Rockhold has left. So it's a lot of opportunities, man. It's a lot of young blood. So I love the position that I'm in right now. So, you know, I'm here for the big fights. I'm looking to keep elevating myself. And if people count me out, I mean, that's on them, you know. But I know what I'm bringing to the table. I'm going to find a way to go ahead and get these finishes without, you know, being a little too aggressive. You know, I think I'm just really finding that evenness, you know, and I'm going to start really finding those finishes here pretty soon.
Anthony Pettis' coach, Duke Roufus, confirms Pettis broke his foot after Nate checked one of his kids very early in the fight. Pettis did not tell his coaches about his foot, in fear of that they might have stopped the fight. Duke Roufus says Pettis will not require any surgery and can look to return around December later this year. Roufus expects a move back to 155 for Pettis, but nothing is set in stone yet.